Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I would certainly be here talking about the Dallas Cowboys, but I wouldn't have you guys. And I see how about those Cowboys is first, and of course, Chlorine Bleach, the troll that he is, he's in here second. It's amazing that trolls from other teams are in here first and second on a Dallas Cowboy blog. It goes to show you the power of the Dallas Cowboys. Because not only do we love them, even the ones that love to hate us are here as well. Raymond, how are you doing? Joey, Cyberlink, Nicole, Jack. There's Jackie Smith. How are you doing tonight, Jackie? Benjamin Williams, Dat Green, Fresh914. I have a Twitter down. Oh, man, I'm definitely going to follow you. How about them Cowboys? Kevin, Jack Duncan, ESPN sucks. Well, they're not the only ones that suck. And I definitely want to get to shoveling some shit on some of these guys because I am pissed off. I'm tired of the same old crap. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but this stuff just needs to end with these talking heads out there. I mean, they are worse than some of the trolls. I mean, I don't mean to insult you, Chlorine Bleach, but I got to tell you, the talking heads are worse than you, man. This whole thing with Zeke Elliot is like deja vu for me. You know, one of the reasons why I enjoy doing this show is I like to disprove a lot of the bull crap that we get out there. I mean, let's face it. I sit here and I listen to these guys that are on TV, on radio, and I'm kind of thinking like, why can't I do this? Because I seem to be right more than a lot of these guys are. It seems like some of these guys are just flat out biased, and they're not even being rational, that they are truly blinded by the hate of the Dallas Cowboys. And I also fault the NFL for stretching out the whole Zeke Elliott situation. It's been a year. Literally, it's been a year. Now, I'm told that the NFL's investigative team is better than the FBI. If after a freaking year you don't have something on Zeke Elliott, then let it go. Flat out. This is ridiculous. If you don't have anything, let it go. Don't leave the guy hanging again. We went through last year with this. We went through the beginning of the offseason. Now, here we are at training camp. We've got knuckleheads out there that are basically starting more crap. So you got Adam Schefter saying that, actually, let me read the exact quote so that way I'm not off on this. But Adam Schefter said, I've spoken to some people within the league who, during the course of the offseason, got a sense that some form of discipline could happen. And the key word is could happen. And I want you to notice how they put these things. When he says it could happen, you don't think about it could happen because anything could happen. Heck, it could happen that the NFL brings a fine against you, Adam Schefter. It's not likely to, but it could happen. Anything could happen. He could hit the lottery for $100 billion. It could happen. It doesn't mean it's going to. And then I spoke to somebody last week and they were like, yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen here. And then a decision that many people thought would come before the start of 4th of July weekend on Friday, when the NFL usually makes a lot of decisions, hands down some news, I was told was being pushed back. Okay. So the NFL didn't say anything. So this is where it gets interesting. Now, why is that being pushed back? Was it being pushed actually? Maybe it wasn't even. But I was told that wasn't going to be an answer here for a little while, and there was more information. There have been more meetings between either Zeke's people in the league or the NFLPA in the league or whoever. It's just been an ongoing issue that had no conclusion. And so if you're drafting today, it's hard to say, well, nothing's going to happen. Nothing maybe happened there, but something that could happen there. We just don't know right now. It's just sort of out there. So Adam Schefter said a whole lot without actually saying anything. And when you hear this, immediately you think, oh my God, he is going to go ahead and get suspended? Is there something that happened? Everybody's clicking. Everybody is talking about it because we are in that time of the year when there's not jack crap going on. But I got to tell you that this isn't the first time that we've heard the same stuff against one of our Dallas Cowboys. Think back to 2 years ago when Dez Bryant was working on getting a long-term deal. The Dallas Cowboys, of course, were trying to lowball him and everything else. And then all of a sudden, we started hearing Mike Farello, who basically said exactly the same type of BS. He said there could be, and the key word here is there could be, a tape out there of Dez Bryant that's 5 times worse than what Ray Rice did. Well, there could be anything out there. There's no facts behind it. And then Adam Schefter comes behind him as well and says, yeah, I've been doing a lot of time on this, checking it out, and we're not sure if there's something there or not, but we've been spending a lot of time working on it. But that's not what people get. When you start talking about could be, people are assuming he did. He's guilty. So I want to play a little clip, and I'm hoping that my stream works well enough that we get the whole clip here from Mike Farello, who started this BS with Dez Bryant. And if it doesn't feel like it's the same thing to you guys, well,
to back up about 6 or 7 months. During football season, I caught wind of a rumor, and I need to be clear on this, and I've been clear on this. I haven't written about it yet at ProFootballTalk.com, but because of where the story is right now, I think I need to weigh in on it and kind of take it back to the beginning and roll it forward. We caught wind of a rumored videotape involving Dez Bryant doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. I don't know that it exists. I never knew that it existed. It may exist. It may not exist. But among the people who cover the NFL for a living, at least some of the ones I know and know of, there was a sense that there's something out there to be chased, that there's a potential video to be chased. Now, the Cowboys have denied knowing about the video. They definitely know that people are chasing the video. If you recall, at some point during the season, Ian Rappaport of NFL Media had a list of all the times police had been to Dez Bryant's house, and in isolation, it was a lot of nothing. It was nothing even accusing Dez Bryant of doing anything wrong. But my understanding was that that was the product of the effort to find the video. Couldn't find the video. Next best thing was the laundry list of all the times the cops had been to his house over the past few years, or whether it's his house, whether he was even there. I mean, some of the situations, his name doesn't even come up. So it was a lot of nothing, but that was the result of this chase for the video. And people had been chasing it. And here's how it even came up. I had no intention of talking about it, writing about it, doing anything with it. I'm in Indianapolis for the scouting combine, and I do a weekly spot with Sean and RJ, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, every Friday morning. And they brought up the Dez Bryant situation. They said they had been told by 2 different people that there's something specific out there the Cowboys are worried about. And one of the things I love about talk radio, when you have coaches, players, other newsmakers on there, sometimes you get into the conversation and you say things that you wouldn't otherwise say. Sometimes people think the words just disappear into the ether and they're gone. And as soon as I blurted out, well, yeah, they're worried about this rumor of the videotape that's out there, I thought, oh, boy, now it's time to start scraping some stuff off my shoe, just to make it clear that no one knows whether a video even exists. Well, no one in the media knows. If the video does exist, there's a limited number of people that have custody or knowledge of it. So we talked about it for 10 minutes or so. I expected it would end up being a fairly big deal. It has ended up being a fairly big deal. Fortunately, and I'm grateful for this, most people understand that I'm not saying there is a tape. I'm saying that there's this rumor that's been vaguely floating around out there for several months now, that there is something that the Cowboys should be concerned about, and that could be one of the reasons why the Cowboys aren't making the kind of significant offer of fully guaranteed money, because they just don't know when that shoe's going to drop. And I would assume from the Cowboys' perspective, if the shoe's ever going to drop, they'd like to drop between now and Monday.
Yeah. So, this is what drives me crazy, because everybody went on a wild goose chase after Dez Bryant. You had Ian Rappaport going through trying to find something about this tape that supposedly was out there about Dez Bryant. And Couldn't find anything. So he comes back with the DeSoto Police Department has been to Des Bryant's house 6 times. But when you looked at it, it sounds bad. It sounds awful. But man, the police have been to your house until you actually looked at the cases and reasons why they came to the house. There was nothing to any of them. This is, again, another chance, an opportunity to downplay Des Bryant. He literally got raked through the coals. Everybody was talking about this tape that was going to be released and everything else, and it was at Walmart, and there's an incident where a woman was dragged to the ground, this, that, and it turned out there was a woman who was knocked out of the car, taken out of the car, but it wasn't Des Bryant. It was totally somebody else, somebody acquaintance or something like that, but he had nothing to do with the situation. So after all this happens, you never hear anybody say, my bad, we're sorry, Des Bryant is innocent. Not one. Not one of these idiot talking heads. And if they could find anything and start another rumor, they would. And gets to be just ridiculous because there are other players in the league who have done things far worse and have been convicted of or have pled no contest. When you think about what Big Ben has done, when you think about Eli Manning is still being investigated for fraudulently selling game-used merchandise, but you don't hear about those. But they make these guys seem like they are bad guys when in reality, they haven't done anything. Now, I'm not saying that Dez didn't have his issues early on. As a young football player, going to the mall with his pants sagging below his ass. I mean, that is terrible. And he did buy too much jewelry without having the money to pay for it and defaulted on it. There was the incident with his mother, hitting her with a hat, but you don't know what may have transpired in the heat of the moment, whatever. And I'm not saying that he's innocent or guilty of that. But for him to be raked through the coals the way they have in the media over and over again is ridiculous. And when you start thinking about the Dak Prescott situation as well, he gets no respect. I'm sitting here watching a clip of Eric Davis, and that's one of those ones where I say, why am I not on TV? Because Eric Davis has got to be the dumbest SOB out there. He is truly, by definition, a Dallas Cowboy hater. Here it was, Dak Prescott had about a 20-yard first down completion. And he was talking about, but he's leaving stuff on the table. Dude, he just got a 20-yard completion for a first down, and he's moving the chains. And you're saying he didn't do it good enough? Okay, all right. So I started watching this clip. And this is another one of those ones that just says, you're just a freaking idiot.
To the offense, and that's why I put those guys on the list. Now, Tom Brady, I also look at consistency. How long have you been doing it? Can I count on you week in and week out? And those are the guys also that I have on the list.
What do we make of Dak Prescott, who players voted 14th? Andrew Luck's 51. So let's just ask about Dak Prescott. Could I not argue players are a little overly emotional and living in the moment with Dak?
Well, I mean, come on, man. You talk about this all the time. It's a Twitter world. It's a microwave society. So why is Tom Brady number one on the list? Because he just won the MVP of the Super Bowl. Everyone saw that. With Dak, you saw what he did. Now, number 14, I would say that's correct if you're ranking him with the quarterbacks. I would say Dak is right now, after one season, I would say he's depending on how you feel
about
about
the 14th best quarterback in the league.
Yes.
Okay, they ranked him the 14th best player, but you put him about 14th best quarterback.
Yes.
So that wouldn't qualify actually for the top 100
No,
list.
so that's what I'm saying. How are you looking at this? That's what I'm saying, like Tyron Smith. There's no question he's the best tackle in the league, but he's not a top 10 player in the league because just the nature of the position. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at these things. The best tackle in the world doesn't affect that game that much. Why? I can take Khalil Mack or J.J. Watt or Von Miller and just put them on the other side. Okay, how much effect does he have then? None, because you're not going to flip your tackles. I can flip my defensive players. So that's what I'm saying. That you have to look at those type things. But as far as Dak, yeah, I mean, I could possibly make him number 12 if I was ranking quarterbacks, but I think 14 is about right.
Let me ask you 2 or 3 NFL questions. Eric Davis, Super Bowl champ and NFL analyst here, multiple Pro Bowls. First question, look at the Cowboys schedule. All the coordinators now have a year of film. He's been around the league. We've had an off-season to adjust. I remember the Wildcat by year 2 wasn't the Wildcat. What do you suspect the Cowboys look like this year?
Things won't be as easy as they were, but I think Dak is real. I think Zeke and Dak are real. There's no question the offensive line is real. There'll be a little bit of flux in there because of the change at the tackle position, but they were still planning for that somewhat. But they're still a playoff team.
Yes.
But it won't be as easy as it was. I don't know if they're a number 1 seed. I think Dak will continue to grow.
Yeah. Can you believe that crap? If there's anybody who needs to donate their brain to science, it's Eric Davis, because he must have CTE, because that crap that he is talking is ridiculous. And I kept saying, 14? Huh? How the hell do you get 14? And then you notice he cleaned it up and he said, no, maybe 12. And I had to start thinking that Eric Davis doesn't have an original thought in his head. He had to get this crap from someplace else. And so I started looking. I always try and research everything because I don't want to be these guys. I don't want to be these guys that speculate on some BS and put it out there and get people going on a wild goose chase. If I say something to you, I believe that it's the honest to God truth. I'm not going to bullshit you. But I came across this little tad bit from Pro Football Focus. And what they had was their top 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And lo and behold, they have Dak Prescott at 12. They had Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers. So, wait. You guys ranked Andrew Luck ahead of Aaron Rodgers? Really? Then you had Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr. Wait. You got Russell Wilson ahead of Derek Carr? Then you got Big Ben. You got Cam. You got Matthew Stafford, Phillip Rivers, and then you have Dak Prescott. Really? So let me see if I've got this straight, because Dak Prescott was 4th in the NFL in yardage per completion. Dak was 3rd in QBR. But you have him as the 12th rated quarterback? Huh? Because if we go by QBR, you've got Matt Ryan, number 1, with 83.3. Tom Terrific at 83. And then you have Dak Prescott at 81.5. Next would be Aaron Rodgers at 76.9. So we dropped down 5 whole points. And then we dropped down another 5 points to Drew Brees. Yet, this clown, Eric Davis, says he's the 14th best quarterback. It's not even objective. It's not even a real sports show anymore when you listen to this clown. This is just straight hate of the Dallas Cowboys without giving him credit whatsoever. I just don't even know what to say. Now, I mean, I'll be objective. If guys suck, they suck. I'm not going to say that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's not. But I'll be damned if I'm going to say he's 14th. Now, I know you Eagle guys will say that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback. He just didn't have a supporting cast. But I look back at the Dallas Cowboys with the same cast they had last year. Basically, the only difference is you got 400 yards more rushing from Zeke Elliott than you did from Darren McFadden. And you've got Dak Prescott. And they ended up winning a hell of a lot more games with Dak. That's all I'm saying. At least be objective. So anyway, I want to thank everybody who's on here tonight. I appreciate it because it's Monday night. It's a holiday weekend, and I'm sure half of you guys are lit up. Oh shit. Speaking of lit up, how could I forget? Joe Boo needs his refill here. We're going to go ahead and make him his blue shot. Coconut rum and some good old blue Chirachka, Kacha, whatever the fuck it is. Blue liquor. So Joe Boo's got his shot, and I've got my Kahlua and coffee here to keep me awake. I don't know about the rest of you, but I actually had to work today. But I am proud to say that I do have my cigar box here. Finally got it built. Sliced and diced my finger. Today actually getting the hinges on there. So a little blood on it can't hurt anything. So let me get to some of you guys' questions and stuff. Sarah, how are you doing tonight? I know. What do you know, Sarah? I know you know a lot. Cameo Cowboys, Collins should be the right tackle. I'm not worried about right guard so much. I'm actually more worried about right tackle because, Cameo Cowboy, the problem we had last year was right tackle. Doug Free was a good player for many years, but Doug Free had lost a couple of steps. Doug Free ended up being really high on a lot of his blocking and could not take that edge rusher. If you look at pretty much most of the strip fumbles that Dak Prescott had, it was a guy coming from the right-hand side. When you looked at a lot of those big plays that were called back for holding or offsides and things like that, it was Doug Free. Getting Collins out there. Collins is a beast. He has slimmed down even more, and he could move before with that belly. He's lost that baby fat. He is focused, and he is going to be playing lights out. And I dare say I think we could possibly have 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen. He is that good. When you've seen him his rookie year going downfield, not taking on just one guy, knocking him out, but going down the field looking for another one to clean up. And even on some of these long runs of Darren McFadden, he was downfield, 30 yards running stride for stride with Darren McFadden. The guy will be a beast. I remember his rookie year in preseason watching him on an extra point attempt because I have never seen this before. He blocked down to the left, knocked his man out, and had the presence to feel another guy coming to the right and turn, step back, knocked him out. Because had he not stepped back into there, the guy would have been right up the gut and ended up blocking the kick. The guy is that good. You don't have to worry about the right tackle. As long as he stays healthy, it's the done deal. I think our offensive line is actually going to be even better this year. And if they start using Zeke out of the backfield now that we lost Lance Dunbar, and a lot of these talking heads keep saying that, well, Zeke is not the best running back out there because he hasn't had all those catches. Well, the fact of the matter is we used Lance Dunbar a lot on third down, and he didn't play, so he wasn't involved in the passing game as much. But look for that to change this year. And when he starts getting out there in space, look out. It's going to be a bastard offense to try and defend. Sarah, you hit the nail on the head. The offense is definitely going to be even better than last year. Our defense is going to be improved as well. But I will say, to use a little caution here, we're going to be starting a lot of young guys, new guys, and they're going to be a bit of a learning curve. But you're going to see them getting better and better as the season goes on. When you look at a guy, when you look at them, those first couple of games are hard. But if you start getting to the stroke, you start learning and everything else, like Anthony Brown. He started out a little bit slow, but by the end of the year, he was actually rated as one of the higher cornerbacks in the NFL in yards given up per play. And that was through the course of the season. He kept improving, and got used to playing. And I expect the same thing with the guys that we have right now. You're tired of all the trolls? Well, it's funny because there's so many giant ones on here. We've got Eli Manning, we got the chlorine bleach and all that stuff. So, I mean, what can I say, man? I personally think they're scared. They're looking for, their last hurrah here because, they got those 2 victories last year, but they don't talk about the years before that when we pretty much dominated them. But it's all good. It's the NFC East. We're going to beat up each other, and that happens. Some years you get us, other years we get you. That's just the way it goes. But it's amazing how many are here. I see Holy Ways is back. I think your Eagles are going to be in a little bit better of a shape, but I think you got a long ways to go. And I'm still not sold on your quarterback being the real deal, but time will tell. And from what I've been hearing from the OTAs, Carson Wentz wasn't looking that sharp. But we'll see what happens because, it's still way, way early. Dez and Dak are trash. Well, if they're trash, what is Eli Manning and your running game? Oh, wait, I forgot. You guys don't have a running game, do you? Jack Duncan, how are you doing tonight? Sandman. Yeah, Sandman, you're 100% right. They love coming on here. I'm thinking that they probably got kicked out of the Giant pages and stuff. Yeah, okay. Eli Manning, yeah. Stay off the weed there, buddy. Oh, Sarah, you're 100% right. As soon as they lose, they're gone. Because I know the Eagle trolls, first part of the season, oh yeah, Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's a nobody. He's going to fail after a couple of games. And once they lost to us, didn't see him the rest of the year. Other than the moron Tom Donnelly. He'll pop his head in from time to time. Jackie, there you go. That's how you know that even though you guys hate us, it'll be a Dallas Cowboys marathon tomorrow for the 4th of July. America's team, baby. When was the last time we saw a Giants or an Eagles marathon? Apparently, the Cowboys make money. What about Zach Orr? I say nay. He's been retired. He's been out. He's still young and all that, but I'm not sure that's where we need to go. My thing is this. I'm going to start doing a little series on how the Cowboys get to the Super Bowl. And basically, I will break down what we need to accomplish this year that we haven't in the past. And the biggest thing I can tell you right now, it's pass rush. When you look back at the failings over the last 10 years, good teams and bad teams, it's been a lack of pass rush when it counts the most. Flat out, Aaron Rodgers, 2 games late in the 4th quarter, couldn't put any pressure on the guy, could not slow him down. We could not literally bust a grape. It's a pass rush. Yeah, I know the deep ball is cool. Lots of points. It's nice to have a great high-flying offense. But did you see what happened in the Super Bowl this year? That 4th quarter where Atlanta could not put any pressure on Tom Brady. And that's the thing about Tom Brady. It's real simple. If you want to beat Tom Brady, you got to beat him up. You've got to have people at his feet and in his face. That's the only way he's going to mess up. And guess what? 4th quarter, Atlanta couldn't do it. He ate them up. Look at us 2 years in the playoffs against Green Bay. What happened? Aaron Rodgers ate our lunch. When you got a quarterback who isn't even buttoning his chin strap on plays, that tells you all you need to know. If we can get a pass rush, a legitimate pass rush throughout the season, I believe we've got a damn good chance to go to the Super Bowl because that pass rush is going to keep. And I've been saying this for years. It's not a secret. It's how football is won. If we get a pass rush, imagine having Sean Lee clean. If Jalen Smith's leg is as good as everybody's talking about, those guys are making plays left and right. If we get a pass rush, we don't have to blitz to put pressure on the quarterback. That means it's more people we can keep in coverage. If we can get a pass rush that's going to take 2.5 seconds to get to the quarterback and make them feel uncomfortable, you're going to get turnovers. And turnovers are key to winning. They're game changers. They're momentum swingers. A turnover can be a 14-point swing. We should know about that. We've been on the other side of that too many times where we've been up big, boom, get a turnover here, and that momentum goes the other way. It's all about the pass rush. You can have a so-so offense if you've got a great pass rush. No disrespect to Eli Manning, but do you think the Giants would have won those two Super Bowls with Eli Manning if they didn't have a great pass rush? They didn't exactly have great corners. It was all about the pass rush. If we can get that, it'll be lights out on that defense. Sack leader next season. That's a good question. I would have said David Irving if he wasn't suspended. Aisha. Collins played really well, but I think we might have a resurgence of DeMarcus Lawrence. He seems to be healed up really well. He seems to be focused, and I think he's reading the writing on the wall that he needs to really produce or he won't be on that team the following year. And he's also looking at that contract coming up. And don't be fooled. When guys have that contract coming up, they're going to play a lot harder and a lot better trying to get that big payday than after they get it. So we'll have to see on that one. Sarah, we know you're crazy for the Cowboys. How about Tyron Crawford? Well, Crawford, again, that's another guy who has played well at times. He is probably one of our sack leaders on the team right now. We don't have guys that have more than, I think, 10 or 12 sacks. I think Dimitri Moore, I think, has 12, which may be the most on the team. So that goes to show you we have a long way to go. Tyron Crawford, the shoulder supposedly is healed, but he's had problems with that over the last 2 years. And hopefully this is the year that he can get it together and can stay healthy, because playing with only one arm doesn't work in the NFL. Well, Eli Manning, if you miss Strahan, man, just watch him on TV. He's on every damn thing. Arnold Sanders, well, he may be out, because here's the thing. We've got more defensive linemen than we have space for. So some of these guys are going to be cut, and you may look at a DeMarcus Lawrence might be out there. Tyron Crawford, although we still got to pay him $10 million whether he's on the team or off the team, but you can figure that after next year he probably won't be on the team. You got Thornton. He may be cap casualty. Casualty as well. So it's going to be a matter of these guys battling it out and seeing who are the best 8 guys that they keep. And to me, that's the best way to go. Battle of attrition. The best guy stays. And that may be a named person. It may be somebody that you haven't heard of before. But I'm excited to see what they've got, what they put together with them. I think this is definitely the best crop that we've had from top to bottom in a long time. My favorite. Jordan Lewis. Yeah, I can't wait to see Jordan Lewis on the field. I'm glad he got his contract squared away. Eli Manning has a dumb face. I like that. Well, Nicholas, I definitely agree that, at least on paper right now, that the defensive line definitely looks more improved than where we've been in a while. Even adding guys like Stephen Pia, Papaya, I think it's definitely going to be a help. And if we can get that rotation going, now I will caution one thing. What Aaron Rodgers was able to do to us while we were rotating players, because it's great to have fresh legs out there, but when you're shuttling people back and forth, that opens you up to, changing the plays or getting the plays out there real quick and catching you asleep at the wheel. There were so many different little mistakes that were made in that game against Green Bay. And, God, I started watching that game again, and I kept thinking, what were the mistakes that were made in that game? Because on paper, we should have won that game. There is no way we should have lost that game after the game that Green Bay played the week before, with Jordy Nelson getting hurt, without really a running game. Their offensive line was beat. How did we lose that game? And I think about that over and over and over and over again. And I think it goes back to on the defense, because you look at how the defense came out. The defense got slaughtered early. We were down 21-3 at a blink of an eye. And I think the problem was we kept waiting. We kept waiting for guys to come back. I know I said it. Man, we're going to get Morris Claiborne back, man. I can't wait till he gets back. He's going to be a boost for that defense. But Morris Claiborne played the first 7 games. Played well. Probably the best 7 games of his career. But then he sat out 9 games with a bone that was pulled off his groin. So we started him after not playing for 9 weeks. And here's what you got to understand about the NFL. Since the last collective bargaining went through, you had a lot of veterans in there that were part of the negotiations. And they changed up the workouts. Veterans don't want to practice. They don't. They want to show up. They want to play. So instead of being able to have 2-a-day practices and pads and everything else and, longer training camps, it got shortened. You only have, I think, 20 padded practices that you can have in training camp. And then you can only have 11 during the season. And all 11 of those have to be done by week 11. So literally, Morris Claiborne, might as well say, just came off the street to try and play with Aaron Rodgers on the other side. And immediately had a hand to the face and got injured. We kept waiting for guys. We waited for DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence, who never got it in gear last year. He had the 4-game suspension. He had injuries left and right and had 1 sack going into the playoffs. But then we said, hey, we're going to rest him. We're going to play him for the playoffs. Didn't bust a grape. Same thing about Tyrone Crawford. Tyrone Crawford had been nicked up all season and really wasn't doing it towards the end of the year. So those 3 guys were starting. And I think that was a mistake because they didn't do very good at the beginning of that game. I think they should have stuck with the guys who have been playing in their absence. They would have been healthy and they've been out there. They've been in condition. Because I look at those 3 guys. Had DeMarcus Lawrence or Tyrone Crawford, if either one of those had been able to put a little pressure on, maybe we would have had a different outcome. Maybe had we not played Morris Claiborne thinking that he was Deion Sanders in his prime, maybe he wouldn't have gotten that hands to the face on a pass that was uncatchable. And Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have got that first down and maybe one of those touchdowns. But that game, God, that game hurt. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I am still hurting from that game. Would the Cowboys have beat? I think the Cowboys would have beat Atlanta. They would have been at home playing against them. I think that wouldn't have been a contest. Um, Sarah, you out here being mean to people? Oh boy, Holy Ways is in here starting stuff. He thinks that Carson Wentz is going to take it to us. Okay. Yeah, well, you guys are also going to win the Super Bowl too this year, buddy. Well, Rasmussen, I agree with you. That was the other. There's so many things I could point to in that. That was another one of those things that I question because sometimes Jason Garrett, he went to Princeton, I guess. It's like he tries to outsmart people, and more times than not, he outsmarts himself. Our team all season long had been a ball control team. And a lot of people say, oh, well, Dak is just a dink and dunk quarterback. I'll say Dak is a winning quarterback because it's not about how fast you score. It's about scoring more points than the other team. And if I can take my time and score, that gives you less time to score. That keeps my defense out there fresh. You're not into a track meet. You wear the other guys out. And if you watch the trend of the Dallas Cowboys, you'll notice one thing. The Cowboys generally start out kind of slow. I mean, we fell behind 14 points to San Francisco. We had to come from behind against the Redskins in the first game. We had to come from behind against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. But there's a reason why we're able to come back in the fourth quarter. It's because of our offensive line and being able to run the ball and being out there for more plays. They're able to wear down the defenses. Our offensive line, 300-pound guys pretty much across the board, going against defensive ends that are made for being pass rushers that are 250, 260, 270. After 50 minutes of getting leaned on by those guys, they start wearing down. And that had been the winning formula. Don't take risk. Don't turn over the ball. Keep pounding away at the other guys. And Jason Garrett decides, you know what? Yeah, that worked the first time we played Green Bay. Let's get into a shootout with them. Let's light the ball up to Dez. And they did fantastic. Probably the best game Dez had all season. Definitely 300 yards plus, passing 3 touchdown passes. Better than any playoff game that Tony Romo had. But the problem is, you kept scoring too fast. You kept giving Aaron Rodgers time to beat you. And without a pass rush, boom, we lost it. So that's the end of what I'm going to talk about for the Green Bay game because that's depressing and we are on the verge of 2017. I'm hoping we learn from that. I'm hoping we can move on. And I hope we don't make the same mistakes. And let me get to some more of you guys' questions here. I wish we traded for Richard Sherman. It's not too late. And I still believe that something is going to happen with Richard Sherman. I don't know if it'll be to the Cowboys, but I think there's too much dissension going on in Seattle for that to work out for another year. Oh, well, Sandman, that's an easy one. To name a player, the Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer, defensive player, there's so many we could put down and say, but I will say Charles frickin' Haley. Because if we could get that guy who's a little bit crazy, a little bit wild, who can wreak havoc, that would be the spot I would go with. Charles Haley. You could say Deion Sanders, but to me, you get more of a bang for a buck for a guy who can get a quarterback than you can with one cornerback. You can have one great cornerback, but if you have 3 crappy ones to go with them, it's not going to make a difference. They'll just throw away from you, throw at the other guys. But if you have a guy who is literally in the backfield every play, he's going to make the other 10 guys on the field that much better. He's going to end up getting double teams, which is going to free up your other guys. So you get your biggest bang for a defensive lineman or a pass rusher. What can Ryan Switzer do for us this year? Well, I think Dad Green definitely is going to be a kick returner. And he has been playing lights out. He's one of those little tiny guys that kind of gets lost in the crowd and stuff. He's fast. He's fearless. He actually had 5 punt returns for touchdowns, an NCAA record, or tied the record, as a freshman. We're going to get some production from him there. And I see him actually being part of the offense with Cole Beasley ended up having his hamstring tweaked a little bit. Oh, man.
One hell of a job. And the only thing else I can say is, how about that Cowboys?
Thank you. How about them Cowboys? And I have not forgotten about you. I was working on your thing today in the shop before I cut my finger. And guys, whenever you end up doing these super chats, the money's going back into the Jobu Sports Report, and we're working on my dream, which is a dream for all of us. Thoughts on doing more options for donation, like using, actually, if you want to go ahead and really do stuff, buy a shot glass. I would actually feel better if you guys bought a shot glass or bought a t-shirt and things like that, because and don't get me wrong, I appreciate the super chats and everything else and all that, but I'm kind of old school that I feel like I should earn it. I don't feel like I'm doing anything, or I would like you to at least have one of these, Jobu shot glasses and stuff, preferably without the blood on it. Have one of those, or have one of the Jobu t-shirts. So if you want to make a donation, the money goes to the Jobu Sports Report. That's actually the 2017 version that I have. I've had about 20 of those already go out. So that's the way, if you really want to help out, I appreciate that as well. If you want to do super chats, those are great too. What about Zach Orr to the Cowboys? It can be worth a tryout. I'm not sure that he's what we really need, Bobby Johnson. And Bobby, you get a...
One hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about that Cowboys?
You get a shout out and a thank you as well, Bobby Johnson. I appreciate that. Zach Orr, I'm not sure that's what we really need, but he's worth a shot. I mean, you can take a look at him. No harm in kicking the tires and seeing what you have with him. But I don't think that that's the real move that the Cowboys are looking to make. Fishful, okay. Fishful, got to tell you, this was actually really cool, because I got a message from Fishful, who is a diehard New England fan. And that's the thing I think is really kind of cool, is we do have fans from other teams and stuff, who said that he's going to be at the Super Bowl, and if I'm there, he would definitely like to meet up, have a drink and stuff like that and stuff. And he, even though he does not like the Cowboys, enjoys the show, and that really makes me feel good, because, I just like talking football. I love my Cowboys, and I can't stand New England, but I respect the hell out of New England for what they've been able to do year after year after year, consistently being good. That's the franchise that I want our Cowboys to become again. That's the way we used to be. But New England, love them or hate them, you have to respect them for what they do. They're able to, year after year, reload and be basically at the top of their division. Something that you haven't ever seen. Well, no, you have seen that, but you have not seen over the last 20 years like this. Because generally speaking, most teams get good, then they start and fall back down. New England has been there straight for the last 15, 16 years. And that's, you got to respect that. So, Fishful, I appreciate the support there, buddy. Well, I think Darrell Washington would probably be a better fit for us. How about them Cowboys than Zach Orr? Because Zach Orr is like a middle linebacker, as opposed to Darrell Washington is more of a defensive end. They call them linebackers, but they're really a pass rusher. DeMarcus Ware is technically a linebacker, but he's more like a defensive end. He's not out in coverage very often and things like that, or, like a middle linebacker is, where I'm scraping, trying to make plays. I'm literally just rushing the passer, and that's what Darrell Washington does. And that's the one thing that I think we need, is we just need that 800-pound gorilla, the guy that makes Eli Manning piss down his leg, that literally puts fear and the quarterbacks. And Cameo Cowboy, I'm pretty sure I am going to be at that LA preseason game as well. Definitely would like to collaborate with you. I'm hoping to go out there on Wednesday. I think that's the 9th. I'll get there in the morning, drive out to Oxnard, and see practice on Wednesday and Thursday. And then Aaron.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. But don't forget, if you're going to super chat, to go ahead and leave a question for us to answer. Always want to answer your questions. But definitely want to be at that preseason game against the Rams and see Jared Goff in person. Having a troll section today. Yeah, we've got plenty of them here, but that's all good. That shows that, I don't think I would sit there and be on a live stream for a Giants or an Eagle thing, but hey, have at it. If you guys want to join, I'm happy for you guys to be here. Wentz is mediocre. RT, I believe, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, Clorix Bleach, definitely go Giants to hell. Jared Goof, I like that. What's going on with Taco? Well, here's the thing, Kevin. What's going on with Taco, and should we be worried? I don't think we need to be worried just yet. We're still way early, okay? We haven't even put the pads on yet. So these guys are getting exposed to a whole lot of literature, a whole lot of book work, and everything else. He'll get out on the field. He'll end up, learning some stuff, and they will probably simplify what they want him to do. So I wouldn't worry just yet. And the thing you have to realize is, generally speaking, pass rushers don't do a whole lot their first year. So if you're thinking he's going to be a 10, 15 sack guy coming out the box, that's not going to happen. If he ends up being a 5 to 7 guy, then you did really, really good his first year. So don't worry about that just yet. Dustin Wilder, Xavier Woods, man, they've got to get him on the field. That's one of those guys that has a nose for the football and is a playmaker, and you've got to use that kind of guy. He's a lower round draft pick. He's a little bit on the small side, but for whatever reason, he makes plays. And forget to me all the combine work, this, that, and the other. The bottom line is, can the guy play football? And he's shown year in and year out. He is a baller. He's a headhunter, and he is a playmaker. Okay, Holy Ways. All right. I didn't want to go there with you, dude, but here's the thing. If Dak is solely a product of the system and the offensive line, how do you explain him having similar numbers 3 years in a row in college? You look at the team that was drafted. The only other person on that offense that was drafted over the course of the last 3 years besides Dak Prescott was their tight end and one offensive lineman, and both were 6th-round draft picks. So if Dak Prescott is only a product of a running back and the offensive line and the team that's around him, how do you explain the fact that he didn't have jack crap in college, took a team that doesn't win, had them ranked number 1 in the toughest conference in college football, that has teams that are constantly vying for the national championship? Explain that to me. I'm waiting because I'm sick and tired of this BS that, he's only playing good because of the offensive line. Then tell me, why didn't Brandon Wheaton last year? Tell me, why didn't Matt Castle go ahead and play well? Because they had exactly the same damn team. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it, buddy, because I'm waiting. Trade Sean Lee. Trade Sean Lee? What the hell are you talking about? Trade Sean Lee? Who's talking about trading Sean Lee? Are you kidding me? Sean Lee for the last 2 years has been healthy. 2 Pro Bowls. And you're talking about trading him? What the hell are you guys smoking? You scared him, Mark? Did I? Okay, Holy Ways, didn't mean to scare you, man, but I got to tell you, man. When I say black sheep, I used to just think about it as our defense were the black sheep. But I got to tell you, it's the whole damn team. They don't want to give anybody on the Dallas Cowboys credit. Now, I know we haven't won Super Bowls in a while, but I got to tell you, only one team a year wins the Super Bowl. But when you have guys that have been playing the way that they've been playing, I mean, for a rookie out the box, he wasn't slated to be the guy in the OTAs. It fell into his lap, and he took off and ran with it. And for those who say, oh, he's just the 14th best scorer, get the out of here, okay? Eric Davis, you make me sick, dude. Get help. Knock on wood. Please don't trade Sean Lee. Oh, Sean Lee ain't going nowhere. Billy Sarducci. Thank you. Billy, thank you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
Thank you, Billy. You hit the nail on the head because that is one thing that people don't talk about. That Dak Prescott works his ass off. Nobody's ever given him jack crap. Ever. Not in high school, not in college, not in the pros. Everything he has done, he has earned by working hard. And he has not rested on his laurels. I mean, everybody and their sister wants a piece of Dak Prescott right now. You know, for endorsements on their TV shows, cancer, you name it. Everybody wants it. But you know what he's doing? He's busting his ass. And I love when he said, yeah, they want me to do endorsements, but I have to realize that without me being able to play football well, don't nobody want me. It's about playing well. So the bottom line is, I got to ball out or else I'm going to lose. Or I'm not going to be here. Aaron R.
One hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
Thank you guys very, very, very much. The thing that always amazes me, guys, is how fast this hour always goes with you. It's almost 10 o'clock already. Thank God we're all off tomorrow. We're going to have barbecue. We're going to have a party. We're going to relax and watch the fireworks. And in fact, when I get done here, I've got to go upstairs so I can go ahead and put some rub on my ribs tonight. And I'm actually going to shoot a video for you guys to show you exactly how I make my ribs and stuff. But a lot of you guys are new, and I appreciate all the support, even of you trolls and everything else. And Holy Ways, if you're in Philadelphia and I make it to the game, I'd love to meet you. Chlorine bleach, maybe. But my dream is, and one of the questions we did for the contest, actually I answered it and put it out there, is to be able to have a super tailgate party and have each and every one of you guys here with me tailgating at a Dallas Cowboy game. Because when I went to the draft in Philadelphia, it was fantastic meeting guys and stuff that were here from the Joe Blue Sports Report. And basically, it's made me an addict, okay? I love the attention. I love meeting you guys, hearing your stories and things like that. So I'm working towards getting us basically an SUV tailgate machine, and I'm going to outfit it so that way we have a ball when we go to these games, and we'll be live streaming. Aaron, which player are you most excited about seeing play this season? I'm excited about seeing Taco play, and I'm also excited about seeing Jalen Smith. If Jalen Smith, and let me...
One hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
If Jalen Smith is anything like they've said he's going to be, or he's been in practice, we could be looking at a monster defense, okay? Because that guy was incredible when he played at Notre Dame. And if he is back to where he was, with Sean Lee on the backside, that could be an incredible linebacking core. So, everybody out there, if you got your shot, be sure to make sure you pour yourself a refill. I'm going to go up here, shoot this video, getting my ribs rubbed, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how they smoked. And then tomorrow night, I will definitely show you the finished product. And I want to thank all of you guys for joining in tonight, being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. The response from you guys is really, it makes my day. I know Mondays, I'm excited now about going to work because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to see all of you guys here. So thank you very much. And I will see you guys on Friday night. We'll be live streaming. And of course, you know, I'm always doing 2 or 3 videos every day. So everybody, thanks for being here. Even you trolls, have a great 4th of July. Oh, and one other thing. Don't be JPP and blow your hand off tomorrow. Good night, everybody.